Hi. How are you? How are you? Hello. I know I've been gone. I've been gone. Hey, hey, hey. Hey. I'm here now. I am here now. We are ready for the party. I am here. Oh man. Had a good little break. Oh, okay. I won't say a good little break because I kind of been fighting for my life. But my birthday passed. I had a great lazy birthday. I didn't want to do anything. Like I was literally just completely overstimulated from like weeks and weeks and weeks of responsibility. So I didn't want anything to do, and I didn't have to do anything. And so it was a really great birthday. But I will say that perimenopause has been BTA. BTA. Man, wearing me out. It is wearing me out, okay? I don't even know this person most days. I'm like, but we're still here. Things still need to be done. So, welcome back to Sex Ed with Coach Catasha. Today, we're going to be talking about HPV, the human papillomavirus. I don't know why I always say papillomanous, but it's the human papillomavirus. Um, Also known as HPV. So our STD index is us going through different types of sexually transmitted infections and giving you the symptoms, the treatments, and how to lower your risk and all those different types of things. HPV is one of the most common sexually transmitted infections. So if you were not paying attention before, you should definitely pay attention now because the likelihood that you're going to contract it is super, super high. If you have not already contracted it, the likelihood is super high. So that's what we're going to be discussing today. We're going to be talking about HPV and how to lower our risk and symptoms and treatments. Right? Okay. I knew that wasn't going to stay. I thought that was going to be I was like, why have I never done that before? Maybe because of that. I don't even know why it annoys me that it's not like that it don't stay up. I just feel like it should though. Everything is tight like I'm about to probably break something, which if you know me, I'm real good for. I have really heavy hands. It's a gift and a curse. But yeah, we're going to be talking about HPV today. So let's share our screen. Mm-mm-mm-mm. All right. I don't know. I want you to know it wasn't going to fit. Let me find the corner. And again, I've been sitting here doing stuff. I've been changing it and Googling stuff and doing all this stuff. And then, of course, you just never think to do the stuff you need to do while you're shooting the breeze. Okay. I feel like that's good enough. And then we're going to take the picture of me and we're going to move that up and make it a little bit smaller. There we go. I think that's perfect. All right, so today STD index, and we're going to be talking about HPV, also known as the human papilloma virus. Objectives. Oh, you can't see that. Well, you can, but only barely. Maybe I need to put it some more, make it a little bit smaller. Not you. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. So, today's objectives. After this stream, you are going to be able to. Now I'm going to start piddling because the Virgo in me don't like that. All right. After today's stream, you're going to be able to describe at least one symptom of HPV, locate a testing site near you, and recall at least three groups at higher risk of contracting HPV. So what is HPV? Well, first of all, it is the most common sexually transmitted infection in the United States. And it's also pretty common outside of the United States. The UK also has a very big, large number of people who have HPV as well. There are more than 200 types of HPV, of the human papillomas. We're just going to call it HPV. That have been identified, and approximately 40 of those infect the genital tract. So you have 200 strands of the virus, but only about 40 of them you're going to find down below. Among those 40, 2 HPV types cause genital warts, and about a dozen HPV types can cause certain types of cancer. For example, cervical cancer, anal, oropharyngeal, penile, vulvar, and vaginal cancers. Almost all sexually active people will be infected at some point in their lives, usually without symptoms. So again, if you are a sexually active individual, it is likely that you have already come in contact with this virus and you may not have had any symptoms for it. Transmission, how is it spread? HPV is spread by having vaginal, anal, or oral sex with someone who has the virus. You can look at that as someone who is performing oral sex on someone else. You can also spread the virus by kissing. Is that true? Did I make that up? That might not be for... Hold on. I think that's... No, that's not HPV. Let me check. I don't think that's HPV. I think that's... But, now I gotta go check. Let's see. I don't think you can get HPV from kissing. I don't think that's... I think you can get herpes from kissing. Yes! Okay. So that's what I thought. It is, I know that it was transmitted through skin-to-skin contact in the mouth and throat areas, but it is not common. Okay, that's the difference, is that it is not most commonly spread through kissing, but it absolutely can be. Anal sex, if you are performing anal to mouth or oral to anal, that can spread HPV. Of course, vaginal sex, and you can also get it from toy swapping. So if you are in a relationship where you both use the toys, you want to make sure that you are using the proper protection for the toys. You can use condoms with them. You can do a proper cleaning of them, but it is best that you both get your own toys. But I know that there are some toys that will be shared, but if it's anything that's going to be going in the body, it's best to have your own personal toy. HPV is, it is possible to develop cancers of the throat from certain strains of HPV. More than 11,500 men are diagnosed with an HPV-related cancer at the back of their throat every year. Let me say that again. So about 12,000 men are diagnosed with HPV in the back of their mouths every year. So there are other types of sexual activities that will also spread HPV. Sexual activities like scissoring or any other kind of skin to contact of the genitals. So even if you are using protection, so say you are using a condom, if that gets in other places or moves outside, you get juices and things in other areas, you can absolutely still contract HPV. Okay. Again, the likelihood, if you're sexually active, it is highly likely that you either have or have had HPV. Symptoms. What are we looking at? What should I be looking for? What do I need to be looking out for? Most people never develop any symptoms from HPV. The likelihood that you're going to see something that makes you concerned is very, very low. So that's going to be one of those things where you have to like just be on top of your scheduling, be on your schedule testing, making sure that you're taking care of your body. Some forms of the virus can cause genital warts. The warts are small clusters of lumps that can appear on the vagina, penis, or anus, and sometimes in the throat. The warts may be itchy, painful, bleed, or cause swollen glands. The most detrimental symptom of HPV is the cellular changes that take place. The changes can spark a host of different cancers of the sexual organs. Cervical cancers account for 93% of HPV related cancers in women. So, what does that mean? When you get HPV, it can go in and damage and change the cells of your vaginal microbiome, your makeup, your cervical cells. It can go in and it can change those cells and become cancerous. So, HPV in itself is not cancerous, but there are some strains. There are a few of the 200. There are about, I think it's 12, about 12 strains that can cause cancer. So, and genital warts, you can also get, genital warts from exposure as well. Testing. What do I do if I need to find out if I have it, had it? What does that look like? Who do I need to talk to? HPV testing is a part of a cervical screening. Cells are collected from the uterus and sent off to be tested for HPV. So essentially what happens is you will go to your doctor to get your annual pap smear. They will go into your vaginal canal. They will take a Q-tip and rub around your cervix to gather some cells. They will send those cells off to a lab to be tested to see if you have HPV. If you do have HPV, then they'll want to figure out what kind it is and monitor it to make sure that it's not cancerous. Some sexual health clinics may offer anal screening to men with a higher risk of developing anal cancer, such as men who have sex with men. Currently, cancer of the cervix, cervical cancer, is the only HPV-caused cancer for which screening tests are available. There is no approved HPV test to find HPV in the mouth or throat. Hold on, I did this a couple years ago. Let's see if that's changed. Let's Google that and see if it's changed. There's still currently no FDA-approved test for routine oral HPV screening, and major medical and dental organizations do not recommend it due to a lack of proven benefits and the potential for harm, like increased anxiety and unnecessary cost. So we'll talk about that a little bit too, because that is with it being so common, it is one of those things that sounds a lot worse than it is unless it develops into a cancer. So the available HPV tests can screen for cervical cancer. Healthcare providers only use these tests for screening women 30 years and older. HPV tests are not recommended to screen men, adolescents, or women under the age of 30 years. So again, you're not necessarily testing for the HPV. You want to test for the type of HPV to see if it's the type that is cancerous or that can potentially turn into cancer. Treatments. What kind of treatment options are we looking forward to? Is this something I'll just have to deal with, or what's going on? 90% of the time, HPV clears up on its own within the body. A fraction of those viruses do not heal and can become cancerous. But in most cases, 90% of the time, HPV clears up on its own. Your body goes through the cycle, your little soldiers and your little white blood cells do their job. Everybody's on duty. Nobody's late. Came back from lunch on time. And they get it up out of there. But in some cases, in a small percentage of those cases, 10%, The body cannot heal, cannot protect you from that virus, and it can become cancerous. There is no treatment for the virus itself. However, there are treatments for the health problems that HPV can cause. Genital warts can be treated by your healthcare provider or with prescription medicine. If left untreated, genital warts may go away, stay the same, or increase in size or number. So ignoring the problem, it's only a small chance that it's going to go away. In most cases, it's either going to stay the same or it can increase in size or number. So you can get more genital warts or you can get larger genital warts. Cervical precancer treatment is actually available. Getting routine pap tests and following up as needed can help find problems before cancer develops. Prevention is always better than treatment, so get tested often to stay ahead of your sexual health. Other HPV-related cancers are also more treatable when found and treated early. Getting vaccinated can reduce the chances of developing certain forms of cancer from HPV. It is recommended to receive the vaccine between the preteen stage, age 9 through 12, through 26 years. Vaccination cannot protect you from all forms of HPV. So the consensus is get vaccinated before you start engaging in sexual activity or before a child starts engaging in sexual activity. Because once you are already exposed past the 26 years, but in most, I think that's just a number that they use from, I don't know, I'm not going to make that up. But what I will say is that if you've already contracted HPV, the vaccine is not going to help you, okay? A vaccine, the way a vaccine works is that it tells your body, this is a virus. This is the virus that you look for when this virus shows up. And so if you already have the virus in your body, sending those directions don't mean nothing, okay? You need to have the directions of how to address the virus before you get the virus, okay? So if you are pre-sexually active, you are still in a space where you can get vaccinated for HPV. Now, again, most of the HPV clears up on its own, but the ones that don't become cancerous. And, cancer is no fun. And people who have had different types of genital and cervical cancers. If you don't, you're really lucky. So if you have a young child, a preteen, and you want to get them vaccinated to stop the threat of them getting those types of cancers in the future, because that's what the HPV vaccine does. You introduce the directions. This is what you do when you see this. When the body sees that, it takes that virus, it chops it up and puts it where it's going to put it, and you excrete it through the body and it goes away. And you don't develop the cancers that come along with that. And so, cervical cancer, prostate cancer, I don't know if prostate cancer is on there, but all of those cancers move the same type of way. If you don't treat them, if you don't get on top of them early, they damage more and more cells until those cells become the dominant cells. And so you'll have to go through different types of treatment options to work on it, to not even to cure it, because you can't necessarily cure it, but the body can, but if you get to the cancer part of it, you have to go through the treatments to cure your cancer. And so, I know that right now everybody's fighting about vaccines, but I just want to remind you that we have not lived in a time where we had to watch somebody die from polio or measles or tetanus. And I went to a really good school. I went to a really good school program. And so I've seen the pictures of what that looks like. I can see that man with lockjaw in that textbook in my mind right now. Like, I can see it right now. It was a man, and he was like, only thing that was touching the ground was the bottom of his feet and his shoulders. And he was like locked up. And so I saw those pictures. I know that vaccines are a big deal right now, But vaccinating is a part of public health. And if mm, make sure that it's worth changing your family dynamics. Make sure that if you do that, because it's about to get bad. You know, I've been saying that. It's about to get bad and it's been progressively getting worse. Um you're going to start seeing diseases pop back up. Kids are going to start getting polio again, and like it's not going to be pretty, and it's all going to be happening because we're idiots, because the human race is full of idiots, and that's our lives. That's who we are. I just, whenever the next flood, I just come on and bring it on. I'm ready. I'm ready. They don't deserve it. Go on ahead, and I'm not getting on no boat. Put me under the water with everybody else. There's no way this is the existence that we're supposed to believe in. Anyway, so who is at higher risk of contracting HPV? People with weakened immune systems, including those with HIV. So there are plenty of reasons that your immune system can be weakened. It can be from treatments. It can be from other conditions. It can be from medication. So you also have to be aware of the type of condition your body is already in and know what medications you're taking for that, because it could put you at a higher risk of contracting HPV. People in low and middle income countries. Now, this is not because they are poor. It is because they do not have the resources. There are not many STD clinics in those areas. There are testing and funding and all those different things. So those places do not have the same set of resources as some of the other places. And so they have a higher risk of contracting and spreading HPV in those communities. Men who have sex with men. And so as my caveat, whenever I see this pop up, yes, it's men who have sex with men, but it's not because a man is having sex with a man. It is because of the type of sex that two men have to have. But those two men are not the only type of people that have that type of sex. So if you are regularly engaging in anal sex, you are also at just as high of a risk of contracting HPV, because the anus you can get micro tears upon entrance, and those micro tears lead straight to your bloodstream, whereas in the vaginal canal, that's its own little microbiome. It's its own little environment, and it has its own little soldiers, and everybody's in there working. But when you move to that hole back there, there are different circumstances that put you at higher risk, and it's not just because it's men on men. It's because it's butt sex, and that's the actual act is what makes it at a higher risk. Women living with HIV. So if you have any other comorbidities, which are just other diseases that could have an effect on your immune system, on your sexual health, on your overall health, you absolutely will struggle if you were to pick up any STI. If you pick up hepatitis B, if you pick up hepatitis C, if you pick up, there's any of those are going to be more difficult if you are already living with HIV. So, and again, that's because HIV is a disease that attacks the immune system, makes it more difficult for you to heal. And in turn, if your body's already fighting if your soldiers are already on the front line for your HIV, it's not going to be very many soldiers left to fight the HPV in the simplest of terms. People with co-infection with other sexually transmitted infections. So same thing with HIV. If you have hepatitis C, if you have any of the other STDs or STIs, those co-infections, again, if your shooters are busy, if they're on top of the building sniping at something else, they're not going to be available to fight any other warriors that you put on the front line. So People who take immunosuppressive medications. If you are taking a medicine that has an effect on your immune system, and you should know if you have this type of medication, if you're taking hepatitis B medication, if you're taking HIV medication, those are going to have an effect on your, those are immunosuppressive medications, and they can have an effect on you being at a higher risk of contracting HPV. And children who have been through sexual abuse. The reason for that is because you are introducing a child to sexual activity and HPV at a very early age. So they're going to be at higher risk because they have not built up the body, the immunities for it, the antibodies for it, or they don't have enough soldiers to fight that off. So if you were someone who had a tumultuous childhood and did experience sexual abuse, you may have already been exposed to HPV. So how do we lower the risk? Get vaccinated if you can. If you have not already, engaged in sexual activity, you can get vaccinated and save yourself the cancer diagnosis in the future. Practice safe sex. Of course, using the appropriate methods. It's not just condoms, it's dental dams. It's using condoms for oral sex. It's using dental dams for anal to oral. It's the full workup of practicing safe sex, not just putting on a condom. Confine sex to a mutually monogamous relationship. Yes, comma, but you never know what people are doing. So just practice the safest sex that you can. You being in a mutually exclusive relationship means that, of course, that's just going to be what you two are sharing back and forth because you're sharing your bodies. But, that partner may step out and you would have no idea about what they're bringing home. Quit smoking. Smoking actually increases your risk of a lot of different things that have nothing to do with smoking. So I think it's just a big attack on your immune system as well. Like, you have less fighters if you are a cigarette smoker. So it's just, all those different ingredients that are in cigarettes are not healthy for you. And so it just has an effect on a whole lot of other stuff that's outside of sexual activity. And then get tested. You need to be at okay, so here's this is my personal schedule. If you are recreationally sexually active, you need to be getting tested every 6 months. Only because everything almost, and when I say almost, I mean almost, like 99.999% of things can be treated and tested for early. If they're tested for early, they can be treated early to give you the best outcome of healing. Every 6 months. If you are in a committed relationship, at least once a year. At least once a year, you need to go for an STI panel. So I just think that it's a good marker. 6 months for recreational couples, every year. Because again, you never know what your partner's getting into. They could bring something back to you that you were not expecting or has not been previously introduced to your body. And, they just out cheating. They don't know. They just like, oh, well, she asked me back from the movies and I didn't know that I was going to, that part doesn't come in. So it's important that you are protecting yourself all while you are in that relationship, especially if, you have suspicions. And even if you don't have suspicions, I don't even really care much for suspicions. You just need to do it anyway, because some things live in your body long before you actually find out. So something like hepatitis B, you would not even know when you got infected with it. It could show up years later when enough of the cells have been changed for it to start replicating in the body and start taking over. So even something like that, which has you may not even get that from your partner. You could have got that when you were in college. But if you are getting tested regularly, you can be on top of that testing, and you can be on top of what's going on so that it doesn't slip past you. So let's look at some frequently asked questions surrounding HPV. Can men get HPV? Yes. Everyone who is sexually active is at risk of contracting HPV. It is an extremely common infection, and without vaccination, 80% of adults will have an HPV infection at some point in their lives. 80% of adults, of sexually active adults, will have HPV. Well, it just says 80% of adults. But, well, I guess so, because if you can get it from kissing and stuff too. So yes, men can get HPV. Can HPV be cured? There is no cure for HPV infection, although the immune system usually eliminates the virus from the body. If the virus is not cured, you run an increased risk of developing certain types of cancer. Could I have HPV and not know it? Absolutely. There is a high probability that you won't experience symptoms with initial HPV infection. HPV can lie dormant for many years, so there's no way to know which partner it came from or how long ago you contracted it. Can you get the virus from kissing? We answered that, but I think I put no. So this was, okay, but I did this a couple years ago. So, no, I did put yes. I did put yes. Check me out. Yes, you can get HPV. I must have updated it. Check me out. But yes, you can get HPV from kissing because it is you can get it from the back of the throat. So if someone does oral on someone who has HPV and then come home and tongue kiss you down, you can absolutely transmit that HPV to that other person and will likely have HPV in the throat or in the back of the mouth. So absolutely can. Absolutely can. All right. So where do we find testing? What do I do? Excuse me. If you have health insurance, you already pay someone to handle that. They don't regularly test for hepatitis, but you can always request it. So you can contact your healthcare provider. Excuse me. Now I think I'm going to get hiccups. Contact your healthcare provider and let them know that you want to get an STI panel. And sometimes you have to ask for different types of STI panels. Like they said, there are some that they won't necessarily spring for because of, they're so common, and anxiety and all those different types of things. Like knowing that you have it could cause a big uproar in your body, but it turns out to not be that big of a deal. So it can, cause a lot of strife in your mind when it's not really necessary. And then secondly, search for your local county health department online. I actually, I didn't close it up. Okay, hold on. I went to Oklahoma County Health Department. Of course, I love them because they always give me, I need to contact them about Halloween. You can go to Oklahoma County Health Department or in whatever county you are in. I went to locations. I went to clinics. Oh, actually, I did not go. I went to North Clinic. I did do that. And then, no, that's not what I did. I literally just did this. Locations. I think it told me to look by services, though. Let's go back to I was just here. Reproductive health, family planning. think it was. I like literally just did this and found clinics. I don't. Of course, I don't remember what I did now. Okay. I do remember going in here and clicking on that, and I was in here. Can you choose? I was. I swear I was just in here. Like I just looked it all up. But I do not remember how I did that. Is it still open on the window that I did it on? No, it's not. Hold on. They're not gonna keep us out. We're gonna figure it out. Oh, this is so crazy. Like I was literally just here. They found like HIV tests and it had like a whole list. And now I look like I'm storying. I swear I was. Okay, clinical services. Can I do this? Ah! I'm like, this is the list that I saw. Okay. Um, family health. Is that for children? That's not where I went. Oh, you can get TB screening? Okay. Did I put it in here? Did I do that? Like, I'm really upset at myself. I did it and was just like, yeah, this is what I need to do. I don't want the Google Maps. Like, it had a whole thing. I don't know. I swear I came in here and looked, though. I'm finna find it. Hold on. We just gonna have to sit here. Because I'm like, I swear on my mama, I was just here. Like, I promise I'm not making this up. I really feel like it's gotta be in here. Nope. I'm so embarrassed. I don't know where it is. Like, I was not just in here. I was just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna do that and we're gonna update it right here and like, yeah, it's gonna be fine. It's gotta be one of these. don't know how. I don't know where it is. Even though I like just saw it, I don't know where it is. Um, it's not that many places to like for it to be. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I did or how I got there. Maybe it's the is it the maybe. Okay, hold on. Ooh. Okay, let me see if I can. Is that it? I'm really just on here piddling around. I was not able to. Ooh, okay. Housing assistance, food insecurity. This has nothing to do with what we talking about, but I still think it's important. Ooh, okay. Price list. Yeah, I don't know. I swear to you, I clicked on a button that showed like STD, STI testing, but I have no idea where that button is now. Like, or how I got to it. I thought I was just gonna be able to just come back in here to it, but apparently I was wrong. Yeah, who knows? I'm not gonna let that stress me. Okay, so just go. You can call them too. You can call the Google or call, search the county health department in your area, just whatever city you're in or state you're in, put the county in there and it should tell you the nearest one. You may can use your zip code too as well to find it. All right. Okay, let's see. I cannot believe that played in my face like that. I just can't believe it. Oh, you know what? You're gonna make me do it the hard way. Oh, we better figure it out then. Okay, so let's talk about the schedule for the rest of the week. I need to download it so I can show it to you. For the last like 2 days, I've been had "Kissing You" by Total stuck in my head. I have not heard that song. I think yesterday I said something about kissing during the class. Saturday, as a matter of fact, we were talking about kissing during one of my pleasure classes, and that's when it started. And it's just been in my pride and joy. It won't leave. I'm trying. Ask me, do I love you? Yeah. What? I'm gonna get it stuck in your head too. If it's gonna be stuck in mine, we're gonna be stuck together. So here is the schedule for next week. We have Sex Ed with Coach Catasha today, which is our STI HPV index. And then tomorrow we're going to be talking about disability and sex, disability and accessibility with sex. Many people move their bodies to a space of no sexual activity based on different ailments or different disabilities. And I want to open your mind to rethinking the way that you exist in your sexuality with a disability. Wednesday, of course, is Ask Coach Catasha, where we'll be doing our live Q&A with a certified sexpert, which happens to be me. And then Thursday, we're going to be talking about, for Sex Tech Thursday, we're going to be talking about smart menstrual cups. That's going to be at 12:30 p.m. I'm actually super looking forward to that. And then a Friday, of course, is going to be Late Night with Coach Catasha, which is going to be our little after hours chat where we'll be hanging out and shooting the breeze and, just being good friends. Yeah. Oh, let me put that on here. That's where it needs to go. Hold on. Ask me, do I love you? Yeah. Am I crazy for you? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, where did it download to? Oh yeah, I wanna kiss you. All right, so I'll have that on there, so we'll have it for next week. For as we go through the rest of our classes. We'll be able to see we'll be able to see the list. So that's gonna be us for the week. We have been gone for a while. Got a lot of stuff coming up. Whoo boy, you know my life, okay? You know my life. I have 257,000 things going on right now. I got a journal I'm working on, so that's going pretty well. I keep adding stuff to it. I keep telling myself I need to be done, but I keep adding stuff to it. But I want it to be complete. I want it to be whole. I want it to feel like you got to get in there, right? So I am hustling my butts off. I'm also it's the end of the year and I got goals for the end of the year, so I'm also hustling. I've been picking up some shifts and making some extra money because I want to make sure I have a good Christmas. I got a lot of nieces and nephews and I'm poor, so I got to start now. I actually have been started, but I really got to start now. So if you see me out slanging oranges on the corner, mind your business. My nieces and nephews need things for Christmas. So I'll be out. We got the Halloween party coming up. And I added two new kinks to the board. So usually we have a Bordeaux kinks and you can put on the armbands that match the kink that you participate in. I'm adding some new kinks this year, so I'm excited about that. I also am going to try to redo my glory hole. So we did a glory hole. It was really popular. But I want to do it again. And I want to do it better. That was my first one, but I want to try to I want to do it again. And yeah, I want to do it again. So I'm going to try to see if I can if I can remix that and make it a little more sassy. I've also decided I'm not going to buy anything this year. But I am I'm not going to make anything. But I am going to buy something that I liked. Let me see if I can show y'all. It asks me, do I love you? Yeah. See? It won't leave. What am I supposed to do? All that I've been thinking of. Oh, this is where I just was. Mm, 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 mm. I had saved it, but I don't think I saved it on my computer to show y'all like what I'm gonna be buying. But it's gonna be like it's a chair that has a pillory on the top. So you put your arms and your head in there, and then it's got like knee pads for you to like be down on your knees. Uh, yeah, it's cute. It's a cutie. So, yeah, got some stuff going on. I don't. I'm not gonna see it. Oh, there it is. Okay, let me. Ooh, I'm gonna use that picture. Mm, 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 mm. See, still there. It's not leaving. Okay, and then I'm gonna come back up here, and then I want to do. Excuse me. Oh, and I did have the picture already in there. So this is what I'm buying this year for for Halloween for us to try out. I think it looks really cool. I'm like super excited about it. But yeah, this is gonna be our showstopper. Uh, I might do some extra little stuff to it. I think I want to add like some nipple clamps and stuff. So I might do some extra little. You know me, I gotta do stuff. I gotta do something. So yeah. So that's what we're gonna have for Halloween. Looking forward to that. Our party is actually gonna be on the first because that's a Saturday. I really want to do. I had a really good idea, but I don't think I have enough time or enough resources to pull it off. But I wanted to do like a virtual, like walkthrough of like the stuff, like where you could just like come online and see. But I wanted to have some people like here to use the stuff, and I don't know. I just feel like it's a lot of work, and I don't know. I'm also like not um I don't like to play about my business. So sometimes people like to play or they like to get scared or whatever it is, and that be pissing me off. Like, don't be playing about my business. Play about somebody else's business. Don't play about mine. So I don't know. It was an idea, but I might pull it off later on in life. We'll see. Um, which is the piece that's making that do that? Is it you? No, it's not you, cause you for that. So it has nothing to do with that. It's this. I wonder do that Titan. Oh, is that all I needed to do the whole time? Since February. I started this in February. Who knows? Hey, hey, I'm barely here. I'm barely. It's just a couple little synapses going off, and that's it. It's all I got. I got a couple little spurts, and that's it. I'm not good for too much more than that. But yeah, so that is all that I have for today. We will be back here tomorrow at 12:30 Central Standard Time to discuss disability and sex. If you are having problems with arthritis or, your bum volleyball knee or an old Achilles from basketball or any of those things, or if you have like, you know, larger disabilities, you're missing a limb, or you have other cognitive disabilities, this is definitely going to be the type of class that you want, especially if you are still interested in sexual activity. So um, definitely tune in. Make sure that you're following us on Twitter, no, on Facebook, Twitch, and TikTok. I don't think I'm streaming on TikTok today. Facebook, Twitch, and something else. I don't know. YouTube. I'm telling you, I'm not here. Like, the brain fog is crazy. The brain fog of perimenopause will have you doubting that you're a person, that like I am a real person. Like I do I exist? Like is this my life? Um but I'm here. I'm still standing. I'm still strong. Oh, I need to call my best friend. That just tickled me. Um But yeah, we will be back here tomorrow. We will be here for the rest of the week. I had a great break. I appreciate you all for hanging in with me because, I don't work on my birthday, and I don't want to work on the days before or the day after either, actually. So I think I'm just going to stop trying to play myself because this year I was like, well, I'm not really doing nothing because in most cases I take off like a week for my birthday because I'm gone. But I didn't leave this year because poor, and also I don't want to go nowhere with this climate. But um, I really, really just wanted to sit down, and so I thought like, oh, well, since I'm not doing nothing, like I'll keep my schedule open, and I'll still work, I'll still stream or whatever. No. So I learned the lesson of my own self at 44 years old. That even if you're not out of town, you still need a week. I still need a week. I already celebrate the birthday the whole month, but now I still need a week to recover from my birthday. Um, so, but I appreciate all of you for tuning in. I'm working on my Patreon too, so I'm gonna be doing some stuff a little bit later, dropping some stuff on there this weekend. I mean this Wednesday. Um, yeah, like we're gonna get on down through there. So appreciate you for hanging around. Make sure you tell your friends. I will be here on Monday and Wednesday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm here at 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And on Fridays, I am here at 9 p.m. to hang out at night with my friends. We'll see you then. I appreciate your love and support. I got a few little Patreon subscribers, so I'm hype about that. Yes, all kinds of stuff. So